Hello everyone, KGB here. It's been a while since I've done one of these live action videos, so I decided I'm gonna make a little series doing just that again. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everyone in between, you're all welcome here under my watchful eye. Welcome to episode 1 of Wacky Warfare, the show where we go ahead and discuss all manners of wacky warfare in history. Mostly modern history, because as we all know, history did not exist before the first Coors beer was brewed in the 1870s. That is fact. You cannot fact check me. I am correct. Now, today, as you can tell from this absolutely beautiful drip, we are talking about the socialist federal state of Yugoslavia, and its breakup in the 1990s. So, to begin this, you need to know what the
Artilleria, Hosanna Zambegi. Artilleria, Hosanna Zambegi. Moja Bosna ponosna.
Yugoslavia was originally founded after World War I, from the remnants of all of the smaller groups within the Austro-Hungarian Empire. These would form into their own little countries twice, actually, before becoming the Kingdom of Yugoslavia. I would say their names, but they are sadly longer than that one town name in Wales. The Union of Bosnians, Serbs, Croats, you get the idea. They get curb stomped by the Germans very quickly before Operation Barbarossa occurs, and this goes ahead and should be the end until our boy steps in. One, Josip Broz Tito. You see, Tito is a bit of a mad lad, and he decides that he himself is going to liberate the country. And so the Yugoslav partisans become the largest resistance movement in the entirety of the Second World War, even larger than the French resistance, to the point where it is actually accurate to say that it was Yugoslavians that liberated Yugoslavia, as they had enough of a standing army, they could go toe-to-toe with the Nazis at basically really any time they wanted to. And in fact, had their own little free state for a short period before it got hit by the Germans pretty hard. But that's here nor there. All we need to know is Yugoslavia eventually becomes independent and becomes a communist country. Now, usually this would mean that pretty much they get shut off from the West and all that, but Tito did one of these to Stalin and decided he was going to do things his own way, and thus created the branch of communism known as Titoism, where Yugoslavia became a federal socialist state, where essentially it was basically Marxism with the added parts of Das Kapital inside of it to create one cursed capitalism-communism homunculus. Tito would be a bit of a mad lad. He would go ahead and tell Stalin that he would send someone to kill him after Stalin tried to kill him multiple times. He'd never joined the Warsaw Pact, started the non-aligned movement, became friends with almost every single major world leader that was in the West, and he made a very good impression up until his death. His death goes ahead and causes the already kind of worried parts of Yugoslavia to basically collectively shit themselves. And this is where a certain event happens which makes Yugoslavia a lot really wacky. In Kosovo, some old man is chilling out in his yard, and allegedly 2 Kosovar Albanians walk up to him, put a bottle on a stick, and shove it right up his ass. No, I'm not kidding. This goes ahead and causes political strife in Serbia for some reason, because they believe the Kosovar Albanians actually did it, and it wasn't just a man who slipped on it. You all know what I mean. And this eventually leads to the collapse of the country. Yeah, that's right. Slovenia and Croatia went ahead, and there is a direct line between Slovenia and Croatia declaring independence from Yugoslavia to this one man. Do you realize why I said it was a wacky war? So, the Slovenian war lasts 6 days, the Croatian war lasts a lot longer than 6 days. The Bosnian War begins, the Kosovo War begins, and that lasts up until around the 2000s area. NATO gets involved, the UN gets involved, a lot of war crimes happen, a lot of people die. It's really not that fun of a time, outside of a weapons perspective, which is mainly what we're going to be talking about today. And to start, I think it's no better to look at this uniform that I'm wearing. So, let's jump right in over to the uniform. The standard infantry of either side, if you can even call it that, will be in this kind of camo pattern. This is similar to M81 Woodland here in the States. This pattern, however, has a ton of different shades, an absolute fuck ton actually. So they kind of just went all over the place with it. So, the helmets that they used were these. This weird mix of a SSH-40 and a Stahlhelm called a M59, I think? Yeah, an M59. This one is an M5985, if I remember correctly. There would also be more modern ballistic vests and helmets used. Just like more like a modern Russian style one, actually, if you believe it. And actually, a lot more helmets would be used. Not just this one. SSH-40s would be used, Stahlhelms would be used, M1 helmets from World War II would be used. And this vest here is actually just a carrying vest. Actually, I believe it's a hunting vest from Italy that would actually be issued to the Bosnian soldiers. This uniform is meant to represent the Bosnians. And then basically whatever bag gear you have, this is just a US rucksack. And the rifle, well, this one isn't an actual rifle, it's not a rifle, but there's a reason I chose a bolt action. Because, man, the primary weapons and the weapons of war in general were just wacky as fuck in the entirety of Yugoslavia's lifespan. So, let's talk about primaries and tanks.
Yugoslavia throughout its life had a number of weird and wacky armored vehicles. To begin with, they were one of the countries involved with the Marshall Plan, meaning that they got some US military gear, shockingly. They got M4 Shermans, they got M47 Pattons, they got M36 Jacksons, and they even got like M1 Thompsons, M2 machine guns, you name it, they probably got it in some way. Besides that, throughout their life, they would be modifying and creating their own versions of several things. So a lot of these vehicles actually got copied German sights, believe it or not. And by the 1990s, pretty much everything was being thrown to fight. So these the M47s saw service alongside their American comrades, plus T-34s, T-55s, T-72s, and the Yugoslav derivative of the T-72, the M84, and it sort of kind of saw service with the M91. However, the M91 was really kind of just a test bed and was kind of just thrown into the fire. However, this is not clearly wacky enough, so how about you have some Croatian improvised armored vehicles? They're on the screen now. Just look at them, admire them. I have absolutely no idea on any of the details of them, other than the fact that they're still around, because for some reason someone looked at them and went, yes, I want these to be preserved. If only we could have other things like that. Here we see Dale Gribble from King of the Hill unloading a box of 76mm shells for a ZIS-3 cannon. That is actually shown in this footage right about here. It's shocking to know a World War II gun is being used in the 1990s during this conflict. Here we see two boys carrying their presents to the almighty M36 Jackson. This will be used in combat later, and it's shocking they have shells for it even. Here we see the most Albanian man I've ever seen in my life carrying a Yugoslav Mauser, ready to stick it to the Serbians and do some organ harvesting. I mean, wait, no, that's actually pretty accurate, honestly. Here we see John Bosnia firing an MG42 over a concrete retaining wall. And yes, that is an actual MG42, the Yugoslavians did have Mauser ammunition at the time. Here we have somebody's dad that just got done watching sports with an MP40, because he wants to rock that stuff and stick it to the Serbs while also doing some organ harvesting with our friend before. If I haven't made it clear, in the wars, They basically were using whatever they could get their grubby little hands on, and even more so, as there was a ton of handmade weapons used during the war. There's a couple on screen, mostly submachine guns, and one anti-material rifle that I absolutely love that looks like a knockoff PTRD. Look, I know I'm being a bit general, but let's look at some stuff that I can actually be more specific with. Here is a Yugoslavian AK sniper rifle and a pistol made by the Croatians. The AK sniper rifle is chambered in 8mm Mauser for some reason, because they thought that would be a good DMR round, and the pistol looks suspiciously like a P38 had a baby with a Beretta, because it's Croatian, and the Croatians were kind of fascist at this point, being brutally honest.
I've been saving this for last. Of course, given I am who I am, I'm not going to disappoint you all with just needless facts about armored vehicles and all of that. So allow me to tell you about one very specific thing. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, may I present the Krajina Express.
This thing, this masterpiece of an armored train, is made up of one turret from an M36 Jackson, one ZIS-38 anti-tank gun that was added on later on, 4 anti-air 12.7mm machine guns, 3 20mm autocannons, two batteries of 57mm rockets, and a 40mm Bofors gun, all in one extremely deadly package meant to lay lace to the Bosnians that dare take over their homeland. This thing was used for 3 entire years before it was destroyed, and surprisingly, it is not the only armored train, it's just the one that has the most on it, and looks the most menacing. I mean, just look at the damn thing. Its goal was simple. Go ahead and hold the border of Serbo-Croatia and do it very well, and the easiest way to do that was by the rail system as it went right along the border. What it would also do was repair the line and keep logistics up. Since it's an armored train, it's going to be pretty hard to take out, and RPGs and such weren't exactly that common, and aircraft weren't either since NATO were blasting them out of the sky. This could be the one and only case where armored trains actually make sense in a semi-modern context because they simply didn't have anything to really counter it. Hey you, yes, you, the one still watching this. You made it to the end of the video. Congrats. I'm really thankful for it. This will be a continuing series, so, hey, stick around, like and subscribe, do the whole thing, do the whole YouTuber spiel thingy-majig, and, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.